Set course for Volturn where the lobsters are blue. Let's see. Investigators from the Independents are here. Oh, incidentally, the fact that we have a lot of free ports is currently annoying the Independents because our colonies have gotten big enough to be noticed. As a direct result, they view our colonies as a potential threat to security. I mean, we are dealing in organs, and they aren't accepting that we're growing them the right way. But we'll deal with that when they come for us. I'll meet you guys at Asconia when we get to Volturn. Alright, arriving at Volturn. Let's see. Still a shortage? Damn it. Resolve the shortage faster than I could get here. Alright. Nothing to lose heart over. We're still going to get a decent price for these, and I'm not willing to go anywhere else for this. Get that out of here. Alright. Turned all those high-value targets over for the bounty, and now we have a good 1.8 million credits to our name. Okay, as far as colony crisis goes, we're back to just shy of 0. Dang, look at that. Okay, so going over the crisis screen, we've got 2 colonies in Alpha Braddock. The primary threats at the moment are the Persean League, the Pirates, and Sector Pole. The Pirates just got their butts handed to them, so we've been given a respite from piracy. We don't have to worry about them right now. The Persean League, more or less because we're an independent polity that seems to actually be gaining power, we're considered a tantalizing prize by the Persean League. They will go quite far in exerting pressure on us to join them. Enforcer fleets will prowl our system ostensibly to protect the League's interests in unclaimed territory. But they're going to make trouble, they're going to cause problems, and we don't want that. As for Sector Pole, the governments of the sector don't really like free ports. They're havens for crime and breeding grounds for scoundrels of all types. Interstellar law enforcement, handled by the Independents, will have their agents circulate in our systems, acting more or less as enforcers, trying to bully us into getting rid of our free ports. I want to let that one mature, because there will come a point where Sector Pole tries to stage an invasion of our worlds outright, and if we beat them, at that point they'll decide that it's more trouble than it's worth and leave us be. As for the Persean League, realistically, there's only a few ways we can go about handling that. The Persean League, the main way we can deal with them is they'll eventually stage a major attack on our colonies trying to use force to pressure us into joining. If we fight them off, they'll back off and decide that, again, like Sector Pole, we're more trouble than we're worth. We could join the Persean League, and if we were to beat the blockade fleet first that they're going to eventually send to disrupt trade with our colonies, along with a couple of other options like, well, we'll get to that, we could secure a relatively good deal where we don't have to pay them that much in taxes and the like. Or we could saturation bomb one of their planets, mass killing billions of innocent people, at which point they'll decide they don't want us, and in fact they hate us. Personally, I lean towards the first one. We wait for them to stage a major attack, we fight off the major attack, and the result is that they decide we're more trouble than they're worth. That's the ideal situation, but it's going to depend on how it shakes out. Now we're also going to look at Norak, and we are going to add an orbital station. They didn't have an orbital station during the raid, so they were at increased risk being disrupted. And we'll upgrade to a megaport to increase the rate at which the colony grows. What else do we want to do? Well, first things first, I'm going to Hybrasil. I need to check the military market and see what we've got for options there. Alright. Let's see. fleet screen, what's available for purchase. Okay. So at this point, what I want to start doing is getting more redundancy in my fleet. I need more copies of the ships that I already have, that way if one of them gets shot down in combat, I can simply bring in another one. It's not ideal, but it is the way that I know how to get this stuff done. I'm also going to pick up a bunch of fuel here. We're going to make a swing by Navarro as well, so that I can take weapons from my do not fuck with this armory, and kit out the 2 ships that we just bought. That way I don't have to spend a bunch of money buying more weapons. This, incidentally, is why I save all those weapons that I pull off of pirates and bounties and everything else that I end up blowing out of the sky. The amount of money saved from that is truly immense. Alright, now, with that being done, I'm going to go ahead and move to the Alpha Chew system. That's where we're supposed to rescue that academian who's being held against their will by Tritachyon. I do need to advance the storyline for Galactica Academy sooner than later. Alright, arrived at the Alpha Chew Nebula. Let's see. Since this is supposed to be a quieter mission, we'll go ahead and put our emissions down to basically nothing. Try and avoid getting noticed. Moving through the nebula, nice and quiet. Mercs don't even know that I'm here. And here's the planet. Your fleet approaches the target planet, but there are no outward signs of a Tritachyon research base. Captain, your sensor officer brings your attention to a cluster of weak neutrino sources in the southern hemisphere. Wouldn't have caught it if we didn't know what to look for. We'll send a coded burst on the frequency Sebastian provided. Almost immediately a worried face appears, dripping sweat. Stars beyond, she exclaims. You actually came. I'm Academian Venus Jinxing, and I'm ready to leave right now. She laughs, sounding just a little unhinged. It's been rats and ruin a long time. I've pulled a copy of all the base archives and, she grins and holds up a small data chip, the little secret Baird wants so badly. The EMP is about to go off, so don't panic when you detect it. I've hidden a shuttle in a shielded bay and I'll meet you in orbit soon, just remember. A frantic alarm sounds behind her. The researcher looks over her shoulder. Lud's hells, the signal cuts out. The EMP goes off like a flashbulb on your bridge holo display of the planet below. All stations set to high alert. You wait tense minutes for any sign of Baird's informant. There, shouts your tactical officer. The bridge display zooms in to a small energy source that just made low orbit, a tiny cargo shuttle without even a closed cockpit. Visual scans can just make out a suited figure riding on its light chassis, weak thrusters pushing a course towards intercept. A space ops team ushers the freed academian into a debriefing chamber. Captain, she says with panic in her eyes, there's no time. They've got a signal out before the comms went down. I've got this. She fumbles with a pouch on her vacuum rig, pulling out a data chip from earlier. It's a software patch. Roots and modifies hyperdrive field software. Then on command you can engage transverse jump. Jump from normal space to hyperspace. A manic gleam comes into Venus Jinxing's eyes. Anywhere. No need, I already know how to do that. You, what? Venus Jinxing looks at you confused. I've heard rumors, just spacers stories I thought. There's no way you could tune the hyperdrive field that accurately on manual control, and if you made one mistake... She shakes her head, forlorn in the conclusion that she has been rescued by a captain whose primary reactor is missing some shielding. You take the data chip from Venus Jinxing's trembling hand. Provost Baird wants this thing, so she'll get it. You order the Academian to be seen to quarters and watched as you return to the bridge to decide whether to transverse jump directly to hyperspace or deal with the incoming mercs the old-fashioned way. Well, I for one am fine with just leaving. Alright, and with that done, that is an excellent start to what we're going to accomplish today. We're going to go straight back to Galactia. Not the most fuel-efficient or supply-efficient option, but given we just rescued one of their own from confinement, I think that's probably the best move at this particular second. Plus, even with the expenses, our colonies are still profitable, so we'll be able to get the money we need for any repairs or fuel. Alright, made it back to Galactia. We'll see what Sebastian has to say about the matter. You open comms to Academian Sebastian. Captain, thank you for returning. Sebastian freezes, then lowers his voice. For returning the, researcher. Provost Baird will be very pleased. She's restarting the hyperspace, well, I shouldn't ruin it. I'm sure there will be a proper announcement when they're ready. Let's go on. 100,000 credits, improved our relationship with them. Let's see about new work. Academian Sebastian taps at a datapad. Let me look at what we've got lined up for you today. Oh, he puts down the datapad and looks at you confused. It's the, Provost Baird wants to speak with you, he says. He picks up the datapad again, examines it, and puts it down. In person, as soon as possible. How about a mission? Oh, no, that's quite impossible. I mean, that is, I literally cannot give you anything until Provost Baird enables your contract code again. Sebastian holds up his datapad, which practically glows with a string of bright denied codes. See? So, a landing slot has been cleared for you whenever you're ready. Alright, let's take a shuttle down, see what Baird wants this time. You find a junior Academy agent pacing in the landing bay reception lounge. As soon as you enter, they spot you with a look of relief and walk quickly to meet you. Captain Bleak, thank you for coming. The Provost will see you immediately. If you would just follow me this way, thank you. The junior agent leads you through a series of back hallways and secure lifts toward the administrative suite occupied by Baird at the core of the station. You are led past diamond matrix windows through which you can see vistas of the curving internal canyon of Galactia Academy. Same as before. Ah, Captain James Bleak. Provost Anita Baird taps something away on her desk interface and turns to address you. I am pleased that you've come to meet with me, and for all the work you've done for my project already. She lowers her head just a degree. You didn't think I'd be wasting your time with make work, did you? She considers this for a moment. Well, there was some. Noise had to be introduced to the system to ensure that an outside observer would not immediately identify you as my agent. So my assumption was right. Most of the work we've been doing has been normal busy work, nothing that actually needed to be done, just stuff to keep the other powers from noticing me in particular. Which brings us to the subject I wish to discuss. Please make yourself comfortable. Baird motions to a set of seats around a table carved from the root structure of some great tree. Hand-carved by the look of it, the work of Luddic artisans. They do fine work, she says, whatever their misplaced devotion. She clasps her hands together, turning to business. You've proven you can be trusted, so now I ask that you take a more active role in my great work. And what exactly is this great work? Saving the Persean sector, she is content to let the words hang in the air for a moment. I don't ask that you like me, and I won't make a sanctimonious appeal to emotion. What I ask is that you recognize rationally that I am pursuing a course of action unburdened by factional demands. Indeed, this will be the foremost effort to ensure the survival of our civilization from utter collapse. We will not be saved by a retreat back to homesteads on fragile balls of rock, nor by an arms race which throws precious resources into the fires of interfactional squabbling. We have to reach beyond the known, develop theories, and shatter all that has come before, and apply radical new technology to ensure our survival. We must reach further and higher than the domain ever dared. As she speaks, she raises her eyes up towards some abstraction. This, you think, is something she believes in. Tell me more. Your tasks will not be so simple from here on out. I expect you to self-adapt to circumstances in pursuit of the objectives I lay out. And, she pauses for a moment, considering, before continuing in a tone colder than before, no matter what you have to do, as long as you pursue the mission goal, I will see that you are rewarded. Securing the future is worth everything. What do you need done? My predecessor, Provost Thomas Calicor, led a series of misguided hyperspace manipulation experiments. How to put it in layman's terms? Baird looks troubled to have to do this, sighs, then speaks. Captain, your ships fly through hyperspace with special engines. The gate network of the domain was similar, but also very different. Calicor thought there might be a way to use starship hyperdrives to reopen the gates. Obviously, it went terribly wrong, and the Galactia system was cut off from hyperspace when the jump points were disrupted beyond usability. Though we hear some Yahoo found a way to cross unstable jump points, an act well beyond irresponsible considering the chance of a cascading resonance event. I apologize, that is irrelevant. Oh yeah, if we'd done the tutorial mission, that Yahoo would have been us. What matters is that once the mess was finally cleared up, the Hegemony descended on the Galactia Academy with a technological inspection fleet. They tore the place apart, arrested the heads of the Hyperspace Physics Division, and several labs, and of course, took Provost Calicor in for questioning. She turns away and, with little delay, sentencing. He was a fool, and too trusting, Baird says with contempt. We lost good people and good research. Scientific breakthroughs are built on the development of theory, and yes, even negative results. I need you to recover Calicor's secret archive. We need his data from that experiment, and all the others that led up to it. The Hegemony will have kept it. They keep everything. Evidence, you see. We shall also need Academian Skyla Kuas. She was a hyperspace physics researcher, the keystone of the theory team behind the jump point experiments. The Hegemony, small-minded that they are, only arrested team leaders in the first sweep. They didn't understand that the underlying theory being tested was largely written by one particular academian who was not suitable for leadership. I need you to find her. Okay. How are we going to get the Calicor archive from the Hegemony? Okay. Following the aftermath of the Galactia experiment, the Hegemony Technological Inspector seized everything. All of our records and data. The most direct approach would involve accessing the data vaults of the Ministry of Technology Standards. They're who you might call the AI inspectors, and they serve that role among others for the Hegemony. It would not be trivial. An amused look crosses her face, but their security has been breached before. I have an old acquaintance who has been climbing the Tritachyon executive ladder. His name is Rayan Arroyo, and he is based out of Ecubres. He may be compelled to assist us with a human asset on this front. I'll forward you the contact information. She taps for a moment on her desk interface. Let's say that Arroyo's future career opportunities are on the line, she says. Mention me to him, she says. If you are firm but discreet, I believe you will find him more than willing to assist. Rayan Arroyo, got it. He compromised corporation security to advance his career over a rival. He understands the value of the deal he made with me. She almost smiles. You will find him quite cooperative once you get past his inflated sense of self-importance. Do we have any other leads on this Skyla person? As for the prodigy of Galactia, Baird trails off. Is that regret? The look quickly disappears. She was always an odd fit. Brilliant, yes, but she had a way of being distracted with involvement in, antagonistic subcultures. Baird waves her hand, dismissing the matter as sociological fluff. Perhaps the Hegemony crackdown cured her of that childish affliction. Her family, and presumably friends, you wonder for a moment if Baird has any of those, are from Fickenhild, in the Western E system. You should start there. Baird thinks for a moment. If you are observed looking for her, you may be contacted by others who are looking for her. That could be useful. You could cut a deal, get some leads. Alternatively, her department was operating experimental packages in the basin system. We have detected some ongoing telemetry that suggests these instruments are still in use, though it isn't clear by whom. She taps her desk. I've sent you the coordinates. The provost looks at you over her skepticals. How do you want to handle this, Captain? Are you a diplomat or an explorer? Do you want to find the probes in the basin system or talk your way through Fickenhild? I think we'll take the diplomatic path on this one. I want to know more about these people. Baird nods. I thought so. There's no problem you don't believe you can talk your way through, is there? If you want to change your approach, you must let me know, so I can ensure you have all the information you require. When you do find Skyla, I expect her to be unwilling to cooperate. I have provided you with an encrypted message. It is a personal appeal from myself to her, she says. It should prove persuasive. I'm sure it will. Indeed, says Baird, looking at you closely. Her trepidation is a rational response to previous events, the investigations, arrests, the show trial of Calicor, but conditions have changed, and she is needed if we are to escape from stagnant local maxima. Baird turns to the window. I will call, Skyla will answer. She says, a proclamation? Find the Calicor archive, find Skyla. Once you have accomplished both of those missions, the project can proceed to the next phase. And that's when things will get exciting. Are you willing to tell me anything more? What's the project? Baird's smile does not reach her eyes. You'll see. She turns to her desk display and starts inputting a command sequence. Done with you for now. Good day, Captain, she says without looking up. You may check in with me via comms for additional analysis as the operation develops, though I expect you to use your initiative. Oh, and I've reauthorized Academia and Sebastian with mission assignment access for your file. Carrying out his little jobs might be a good cover for your real work, and allow us to funnel additional credits to you. You feel the subtle movement of air as the doors open silently behind you. Mirror mask guards flank a junior agent who waits to escort you back to your shuttle. Well, that done, let's check in with Sebastian. Welcome back, Captain. It's good to see you, Sebastian says cheerfully. Let's check in for available jobs. Let's see, purchasing technology from pirates? Gladly. Magnetic field scan, always welcome. An imprisoned researcher. The Knights of Lud took issue. We'll go ahead with that. And data retrieval from some ruins. Academia Sebastian makes a series of small, odd noises as he reads from his datapad. Oh, no, Okay. He turns to you, closes his eyes to brace for a moment, then puts on an impressive smile before proceeding. So this won't be a problem, right? I mean, we have the extraction coordinates of the archive for you on Grimbolin in the Marak system, which is 22 light years away. You get in, you get out, and once you're in hypercom range, just send the encrypted contents back to the Academy, and the finance office will pay you 100,000 credits. No problem. But a longish pause, which is unusual for Academia and Sebastian, who has a way of filling uncomfortable gaps in conversation. But we're not supposed to talk about it. But if you'll recall all these rumors around the first AI war, well, you can ask in the Persian Studies Department, maybe? But there is a possibility, maybe, that you will encounter certain, he looks down to check the exact phrasing, autonomous weapon systems. It says it might be quite dangerous, which is why this pays more than the usual. I'm sure it's nothing, right? You'll be fine? Oh yes, I definitely will. Wonderful, I'll transmit the relevant information. Alright. Ideally, we're going to want to raise our position with the remnants a bit before we do that one. That way we don't have to worry about that. And speaking of, we're going to Prism. Need to talk with Midnight Dissonance, need to pick up fuel in Asconia, which is next door, so this all works out in our favor. Prism. One of my favorite places in the game. One of the few I feel like I can really relax. Let's have a look-see. Just sell off that scan data, we don't need it. Price for supplies here is pretty good. Same with fuel, though not as good as Syndria, so we're just going to go there next. But more importantly, Midnight Dissonant, how are you? New collaborations desired. Dissonant's avatar does a familiar flicker. List generating. Standby, please. Bounty targets available. Observation package in Kulon orbit. Stealth insertion. Self-kind requires. Dead drop for self-kind. Deliver surreptitiously. Mission of your choice. Please select. Let's see what's available in the bounty docket. Let's see. Dissonant's avatar dissolves into a standard ID holo of a military officer in uniform. Luddic Church Deacon Captain, significant figure in operations against self-kind. Commanding patrol fleet, base Tartarus, in Eos Exodus star system. Distance 5 light-years away. Neutralize Cleophas Erigar. Reward 46,000 credits, if within 120 days completed. We'll check one of the other targets. Want us to disrupt a fleet from the tile system. What about the last one? Member Luddic Path, Nemesis of Self-kind. Negotiations non-viable, can only be destroyed. This instance of enemy, location, Alpha Grandusa system. 22 light-years away, compensation of 150,000 credits on completion of mission, if within 120 days. Oh yeah, we can take that. What about the package delivery? Only 8 light-years away. We can take care of that. Deploying an observation package. Oh, Kulon's a military base, we can't do that one. But we'll take care of the rest for her. Next we'll hit up Syndria. Alright, fill the fuel tanks. Decently well. Pick up supplies. Add an extra 1,000. That should keep us good for a while. First things first, we'll handle that dead drop at the neutron star. Quick, in and out, and then we'll move on to the Pather. Okay, let's see. Neutron star, so we're going to jump in near a gravity well. That should help protect us from the radiation beam if it happens to be nearby. And a research station. Excellent, we can loot that on the way out. Alright, with that done... Your nav officer reports your fleet has arrived at the coordinates provided by Midnight Dissonant. The data chip containing hegemony deployment schedules is dropped off, and we're done here. Made our money. Get going. We are on a tight schedule right now. Abandoned research station. Your salvage crews find a partially accessible data core that contains hyperspace topography data. The data is well out of date, but that makes it particularly valuable in extrapolating current trends. Go ahead and salvage. Okay, Clawwing, Colossus Mark II if we ever needed it. Revenant, okay. The Revenant class phase tender is a stealth freighter. It employs phase technology to support covert fleet operations. The Revenant is not cheap or efficient, and raising it up from the dusty databanks hidden in an unnamed rock orbiting a nondescript star from 100 cycles ago after the first AI war proved an immense boon to the logistics of Tritachyon raiders. If you're running a phase fleet, you want the Revenant. Hardened shields, defensive targeting array, and a bunch of other goodies. Debris field, Herung prototype experimental carrier. I know the normal Heron, but I don't know that one. We'll have to look at that later. Okay, now chop chop, Pather's up. Alright, Alpha Grandusa. Now we'll get in here, we'll find their pather, and we'll blow them out of the sky. I gotta get this done, too. Only 77 days left. Let's see, local area. Oh, hey, there's a weapons cache in here that I never picked up. Oh yeah, that's when I was full up on salvage, wasn't it? Well, we'll find our pather in here somewhere. I would hazard a guess probably near the weapons cache. Yep, there he is. Anything to say for yourself? Submit, repent, and your sinful technologies will be smashed. Well, not a chance today, buddy. You are in much deeper than you realize. And the first thing up is a kite taking on the Medusa. I didn't even manage to finish saying it. There's not even anything left. It simply has ceased to exist in any meaningful sense of the word. I expect the next one will be no different. Yep. Okay, we'll have the Paragon start coming back this direction, because it looks like that's where the bulk of the fleet is. Dang, that barber nearly avoided the Tachyon Lance. Nearly. Didn't quite manage it, though. There's another one done. Venture trying to start problems. Oh yeah, this is the Luddic Path version of the Venture. They replaced the fighter bay with an Orion drive because, you know, they're deranged space terrorists and don't care if they come back alive. Dang, that Wayfarer didn't even get the honor of being hit by the main weapons. It got taken out by our point defense. Another Eradicator done. Yeah, these guys are pushovers. Relatively speaking. Get in there. Take them out. We aren't leaving survivors to cause more problems in the future. Ah, dang it. Apparently we are leaving survivors. It's not worth it to chase that one down. Let him go. Oh god, he's even wearing the face covering. High value prisoner. Got that 150,000. Might as well raid the weapons cache while we're here. It's not like they're gonna stop us. Let's see. Mjolnir cannon. Ooh, plasma cannon blueprint. Alright. That done. We'll go to Eos Exodus next. Take care of our business with the Luddic Church. Hopefully keep things nice and above the board and work from there. Alright, now our reputation with the Luddic Church isn't great at the moment, but it's not awful either. So we're gonna go ahead and talk to these guys politely. The comms open on a Knight of Lud bearing the hand-weaved and wooden sigil of a Knight Captain. Blessings of Lud be upon you, he says, looking you over with obvious suspicion. He nevertheless remains civil. How may I serve, Walker? ask about a certain prisoner associated with the Galactia Academy. Ah, you're from the Ad Academy. Or not quite. They hired you, is that right? He gives you just a glance. It is. First, I would like to assure you that the individual on whose behalf you are petitioning the Knights has been treated well, though, considering their crimes, has been confined to the guest dormitory and has had technological privileges limited. The Knight flips a page in some kind of real paper notebook, reading. I see here that this academian was caught with a number of devices. Research equipment, they say. These devices have been destroyed. He looks up at you to see how you react and then nods to himself. We understand the need for stable relations between our respective institutions, he says, and the Mother Church has emphasized this very point very precisely to our order. Escubator Obris Oak has agreed to waive the usual procedures in place of a generous donation to the Church. I trust you have brought the Academy's silver. He gives you just a hint of a wry smile. Pay him his 60,000 credits. The Knight Commander nods. You may transfer the credits to the port exchanger. Just tell them that the sum is to be delivered to the Knights of Lud. You nod and motion for your logistics officer to take care of the transaction. Which leaves us with your wayward academician, he sighs. We shall have them escorted to the Outsiders Concourse immediately for your pickup. The Knight claps his notebook shut. Which concludes our business, he says, and pauses as if considering his words. I will pray for you, Captain, and please, prevail upon the Academy to be more considerate. Providence guide you. You dispatch a shuttle to pick up the released academician. Once on board, they appear in good health, and once away from the brooding Knights of Lud, complain bitterly about lost data. Those fanatics smashed my new tripod, simply barbaric. And it can't be my imagination, but I suspect they hardly bathe down there. You nod politely and motion for your security chief to escort the academician to their quarters so you can avoid them on the long trip back to the Galactia Academy. Damn. Let's see, do we have any prisoners? Oh yeah, we'll repatriate this person to improve our relationship with the Ludic Church slightly. I don't have reason to want hostilities with them right now. Asconia. Need an artifact from the pirate world there. And I need to talk with Ryan Arroyo at some point, and he happens to be in that neighborhood, so we'll go ahead and take care of that next. Far from Asconia's primary, Umbra is a frozen world of methane and ammonia, where water ice is like rock and may be found in mountainous outcroppings and boulders. A thin atmosphere of volatiles is formed on the starboard side of the planet, only to freeze again on the dark side. Most craters are filled in over time as this snow is deposited. There is some mining of heavier metals from the poor rocky mantle buried many kilometers beneath the glacial crust. Habitats are burrowed deeply. Life on Umbra is harsh, and few would willingly choose to live here permanently. A trickle of idealistic, out-of-system volunteers brings much-needed hope and essential supplies. Let's see what they've got for trade. Nothing I really need. I'm certainly not giving them blueprints. Although, yeah, I can sell the Colossus Mark II blueprint. It's not going to do them any good. They already have that. We'll pick up some fuel and some supplies untaxed. And we'll talk to the fence. As before, an upstanding gentleman who likes to think of himself as a facilitator, not a pirate. So, and as before, tries to screw us. So we'll go ahead and just have our Marines go in and take what we want. Lost one Marine. And got our goods. And we didn't have to pay out the bounty, so good for us. Next we'll hand to Iku Bress, and we'll see about talking with that high-ranking member of the corporation. And with any luck, he won't make trouble. Iku Bress. Terraformed late in the colonization of the Persian sector. It's a world of peaks, fjords, freshly torn by violent, rapidly changing weather. It is still colder than Terran Optimal in spite of the orbital mirror array completed shortly before the collapse. Alright. Open the comm directory. Ryan Arroyo. Your comms officer connects your personal terminal to the local network. You activate the audio suppressor field around your command station and enter the comm ID provided to you by Provost Baird. The animated loop of some Tritachyon subdepartment makes a half rotation before the call is answered. Arroyo here, who's talking to me? Ryan Arroyo looks you over as if examining a starship hull for scratches. He seems to find something he doesn't quite approve of in you. Who gave you my comms ID? He demands. Provost Anita Baird. For just a moment, you think you see a wave of panic cross Arroyo's face. It's replaced by a cocky grin. Oh, of course. The Galactic Academy Endowment Fund. How could I forget? Here. He taps at something in your comms display, an incoming set of coordinates with the code of a landing beacon. Take a shuttle down. We can touch base about the fund. I'm sure the Provost has exciting plans, and I want to hear all about them. He lifts his eyes upward for a moment and lowers them again to look directly at you. In person. Ah, so he's avoiding saying anything over comms directly because he's probably being monitored. I mean, Tritachyon spies on all its employees, so that's not surprising. But whatever we're about to do, they're definitely not going to approve of. He carries on as if this was all perfectly expected. Ever been planetside? Doesn't count if it's just the acrologies. I'll give you a tour of my chalet. Spectacular views. You'll love it. See you soon. He closes the connection before you can respond. Well, I guess we're taking a shuttle down. Your shuttle descends into the young atmosphere of Echo Boreas through towering battlements of clouds. A spray of rain is cast over your viewport, and it is wiped clean in a blink by the heat and speed of your descent. The flight path soon deviates from the general approach corridor, which has been ticking off minor use fees from the Tritachyon-owned flight control. General volume access fee, priority lane fee, service fee, customer satisfaction insurance charge, advertisement bypass fee. You swipe the notifications off and focus on the landscape. Leaving behind the Tritach acrologies, diamonds growing atop the detritus of tiered slums, over pipelines of a steel blue bay, jagged fjords interrupted by ice jams and landslides, up and over a great crumbling escarpment like a black wave that fills the horizon. You cross a landscape of oddly hued tundra spotted with thousands of milky green lakes. A new range of mountains rise on the horizon, torn in half by catastrophic workings of the terraformers, and beyond is a chaos of steep valleys populated by dwarf pine and thin white waterfalls. The nav system sounds a tone indicating imminent arrival, and you see Arroyo's private chalet, a small compound of radical geometric architecture surrounded by low outbuildings. Your shuttle approaches an ellipsoid landing pad that appears to hang in thin air over a gorge. A human and a robotic servant greet you placidly as you arrive, and lead you inside to a great parlor, done in dark geometric style. Gold inlay gleams in onyx tabletops, and the polished granite floor is set with a tasteful pattern of gemstone carpets placed slightly askew. The view from the flawless sweep of diamond matrix bay windows is, as Arroyo promised, spectacular. Ryan Arroyo is sitting at one of the bars. He acknowledges your entrance with a nod as the servants disappear. He taps his datapad with 2 fingers. You hear the soft signal loss ping from your datapad, and your sidearm hand twitches instinctively. Arroyo acknowledges this with a rise of one perfectly groomed eyebrow. Calm down, just making sure no one's listening. He flips through a series of null readouts on his datapad, and, satisfied, sets it aside. So Baird is calling in another installment. What will it be, Captain James Bleak? No small talk? What about the tour? No, he says. He makes a show of looking around. But it's nice, isn't it? Now, I could be doing anything other than talking to you right now, so let's make it quick. You know you're getting something thanks to our mutual friend. What is it? I need to break into the data vault of the Ministry of Technological Standards. As soon as you say it, a smile grows on Arroyo's face. He starts laughing, and takes his time as it builds and falls. He laughs like he's strapped to a madman's rocket, with no escape. So why not enjoy the ride? Give him a moment. He slaps the onyx bar top one last time and puts his head in his hands. He sighs and pours something from a crystal decanter into a glass, empties it. To a deal that gets worse all the time, then pours another. He considers a moment, notices you, and tilts the decanter to offer you a drink. Might as well. Arroyo pours another, passes you the tumbler, and clinks his glass into yours, hard. "And Anita Baird," he shouts. He slams down an empty glass. "I know someone who can do it. They're a pain in the ass, but this is key. They're crazy enough to do a job as stupid as the one you're proposing. A hacker called Gargoyle. The real one, not one of the wannabes. We've done business before. Here's the comms ID." Ryan pulls a data key from a pocket, waves it over his datapad, and after a couple taps pushes it toward you. "If you get any pushback, if Gargoyle throws a little tantrum, just give it back. It's all about the drama, but in the end, you're already in with a job as stupid as this." He holds up a hand. "And by the way, you really did not have to go and tell me your true objective. The last thing I want is hegemony counter and crawling all over my operation. Or worse, some vampire from the company board smelling blood. Can you tell me more about this Gargoyle?" He gives you a look. "No, who cares? Doesn't matter. Most of anything you'll hear about Gargoyle is made up, and half of that is true, so don't bother trying." He leans back, looking elsewhere, content to talk to himself some more. "What's important is that Gargoyle always gets the job done. My theory is it's some kind of obsessive brain thing." He twirls a hand at his head to demonstrate. "Probably implanted a cybermog the wrong way around and got an AI instead of a frontal lobe. Have fun with that one," he says with a smirk. Out of curiosity, even knowing he's probably not going to answer, what's Baird got on you anyway? "What Baird's got is a good investment, and the longer she waits," he waves at the luxurious surroundings, the career of Ryan Arroyo, "the more interest she'll collect." A shrug. "It's done well enough for me. We all make deals to get ahead, and I've seen worse. Done worse to others. Plus, I'm an asset now. You can't simply snuff an asset owned by a bigger player." He turns and stares directly at you. "And you're an asset too. Hypothetical question. What's she got on you?" He gives a cold smile. "I hope you know." You've got what you need from Ryan Arroyo, and with no signal on his part that you can discern, his robot and human servants appear once more. "I won't say it's been a pleasure, but if you ever have more credits than you know what to do with, or, a truly exceptional business opportunity, let's trade crypto keys now so you don't have to track space dust on my carpet again." He taps his datapad and offers it, and you perform the mundane ritual which will ensure that anyone who wants to crack your mutual comms will, at least, have to put some effort into the task. Potential contact, Ryan Arroyo, military and trade, for Tritachyon. Importance, high. Excellent. And that, as part of the deal with dealing in Galactia Academy's business, has gotten us a very valuable piece on the board. Your shuttle reverses the previous course down from the highlands, across the plateau of lakes. You spot factory crawlers disgorging pipes and monorail pylons across the landscape, leaving long trails of torn red dirt. Across the rocky chaos and the small cold sea, and over the mountainous slums crowned by glittering spires. Navigation pings, and the comms noise grows to a small roar over the heart of Tritachyon, and your shuttle returns to orbit. Now we have to go to the Port C franchise station and talk to Gargoyle. While we're at it, as always, more fuel, a little bit more in the way of supplies. Price here for metals isn't bad, might as well get rid of them. And do they need anything else? Oh, of course, check that. No shortages to be had here. Offload the Clawwing blueprint, they already know it. And the rocket bombers. While we're at it, just going to develop this contact. Now, Ryan is a useful contact to have. With him as a contact, we can ask about any work he might have, what's available on the bounty docket. 130,000 credits, take out a medium-sized pirate fleet. Excellent. Yeah, I can take that. go off and deal with that Pather bounty real quick. And we have other things to do in the Galactic North, so we can take care of that as well. Nice and efficient. Alright, Sakona system. Time to get us a Pather. Any idea where he's hiding? No, not this time. Alright, well. We'll head upward and see if he's around any of these planets. And if not, we'll head back south and see about that. Not over here. Probably by this very last planet, all the way out of the edge. And there you are. Must have been circling around the star just like me. Let's move in, take these chuckleheads out. Wolf on that comm relay, wolf on that nav buoy. Everyone else circling the Paragon, Paragon going to the sensor jammer. And as tends to be the case, one hound comes in looking for trouble as the very first thing we see. And immediately gets its ass kicked by the wolf. Another Cerberus goes down, followed swiftly by an Eradicator. And with that, another Pather fleet sorted out. Should be a technological cache in this blue giant star system, Beta Athos, so we're gonna go there. I picked that quest up a long while ago. Now currently, the remnants are neutral to us. As a direct result, if we run into them, they shouldn't attack unless provoked. Now, granted, there are some actions like my presence in certain locations that might provoke them, but I'm not intending to try anything. So with any luck, we'll be able to get through this nice and easy. Alright, Beta Athos. Doesn't appear to be anything here except the technology cache we're after, which is just fine by me. Saves me a lot of trouble. We'll grab this and get gone. Oh, there are remnants here. Not crewed by AIs though, so should be relatively easy to take on. Standard high-tech fleet setup, and this battle isn't big enough to have command points, so we don't really need to bring in any of the small ships. We have uncrewed AI ships. No AI leader on board, so nice and straightforward and relatively easy to handle. As they say, is that. Nice and easy. Pick through the wreckage. Free tachyon lance, always welcome. Your fleet arrives at the coordinates provided by the scientist on Scathe. Just as she said, there is an impressive bounty of domain-era goods and technology in nearly pristine condition. In the middle of it all, your salvage crews report a cargo case bearing a Tritachyon logo. It's emitting a bizarre, dynamic magnetic field extending 2 meters beyond the casing. It's amazing that no one found this cache before, but then the long-range sensors did read it as a worthless debris cloud at first. The question is now, do you close the AI core into the shielded crate and send it off your next port stop, or do you keep it for yourself? That scientist was surely no one important. I'll go ahead and send it off. The shielded crate shuts with the sound of powered bolts sliding home. It sends off a one-time coded hyperwave burst. Confirmation, you suppose. It would have been good of that scientist to warn you about this little trick. Hopefully no pirates or anything else were listening nearby. And we'll loot the rest of the cache. Say what you will, but I'm a man of my honor, so long as the person that I'm dealing with is honorable as well. I have no issue with using Marines to steal from any of those, pirate fences that try to screw me over, but I'm not about to go ahead and screw over someone who did their dealing with me honestly. Hey look, pirates who came to try and steal from me. Guess what? You're not getting away. With another pile of pirates sent to Valhalla, or whatever it is they believe in, we lost exactly 2 crew, no Marines, nothing much else. Pirates already hate us, so it didn't impact our reputation the slightest, and Tritachyon, as always, is willing to pay us for wiping out even more pirates. Gotta recover an artifact from a derelict not too far away, so I'll meet you guys there. Alright, arriving in Alpha Yomi. Supposed to retrieve a unique superconducting structural element from a derelict ship located some distance away from the center. So that's going to be either in this band of stardust, or it's going to be around one of the planets on the outer edge of the system. Rather pointedly, they won't put an item just anywhere, at least not anymore. It's going to need to be near something else that would be able to draw the attention to it. Usually that's a planet or a ring, but it can also be a jump point, a gate, even just a stable position. Yep, there's our derelict ship, just outside one of the rings. As you approach the derelict vessel, your sensors officer points out signs that you're not the first to visit. Outgassing and debris around the target's hull match the profile of a recent salvage operation. More like a smash and grab, growls your ops chief. Whoever got here first was not a professional, judging by the slipshod breaching cuts and tangle of discarded equipment. You send out a salvage team and they perform a sweep with cautious efficiency. Your mission target is missing, but they do find something else. A leaky suit crudely bolted to a bulkhead, occupant unconscious. The victim of some punishment, evidently. They're cut free, then placed in a quarantine bulkhead while a medic attempts to revive them. The victim is thankful and eager to talk, and definitely a pirate. You watch through a hollow feed as a story comes out about being left behind due to a perceived regression, which the others got talking and decided just because they didn't like me much that I was the one to blame. I didn't do a thing to deserve it. All of your questions are answered at the cost of only breathable air, a hot meal, and a bulb of spirits. It becomes clear that these pirates knew something special was on the derelict and came here looking for it. They were also caching supplies nearby, so it's likely they'll head there before trying to sell their treasure. If your fleet travels at high speed, you might just catch the pirates before they get away. All that remains is what is to be done with the unfortunate pirate who seems grateful and claims to have been wronged, but is any pirate out there really innocent? Could they be a security risk? I'll give him a chance to prove himself. Gain 1 crew. No cost to me. And if he messes around, I do have enough Marines on board to invade a small planet. So, I don't think it'll be an issue. But yeah, we'll head for the inner system jump point, scan this last planet, and see about catching those pirates. They're in one of the neighboring star systems, apparently. Alright, let's see. Is this them? No. Just some normal salvagers. Looks like a derelict ship. I'll take the salvage, that's for sure. Oh gosh, of course it had to be in a giant system full of planets. Oh well. We'll find them eventually, just a matter of tracking them down. As usual when doing exploration, I'll give you a rundown at the end of everything important that we find. There's our pirates. Let's see, accept the comm request. That taken care of, let's get out of here. Alright, so rundown for the Escondido system. Couple of volcanic worlds, one with some rather impressive mineral deposits, a few irradiated worlds, barren world, cryovolcanic world. Now, the system did have a surplus of salvage to pick up. A couple of orbital habitats, a research station, a mining station, not all of which I was able to loot. I went through a fair few of them, but then my hold filled up and I just didn't have the room for anything else. So I'm going to have to come back to that one and pick up the goods that we didn't quite manage to take with us at some point. But that is a task for another time. Oh damn. Well, it would seem that this system is a nexus point for remnant activity. Luckily, the remnants are neutral to us, so we were able to get in, find that blueprint that we were after, and get back out, without any trouble. They didn't even mind that we surveyed the system. Ah, that explains their presence. There's an actual remnant nexus. The equivalent to a space station that the remnants use. Doesn't work like the ones humans have. Far, far more automated and nowhere for us to dock. Only suitable for use by the remnants. Summing up for the Utopia system, we have an irradiated world with ultra-rich rare ore deposits and regular and rich ore deposits, widespread ruins as well. This planet also happens to be home to a remnant nexus floating in orbit. There's a water world called Sagan, which has plentiful organics and is water covered, barren world, and a desert world. Nothing I have a terrible interest in. So we're going to move on to our next target. Merax is another system that has a presence from the remnants. I would hazard to guess they probably have a remnant nexus here too. But again, since we're currently neutral with them, they aren't going to start problems, meaning we have run of the place. We can go through, survey the planets, and pick up that information that the Galactic Academy wanted at our leisure. It pays to make friends, even in odd places. Another remnant nexus, just as I suspected. Both of these have been intact ones too, not the weakened ones that come from nexuses that were damaged irreparably. Okay, a scan of the coordinates provided by Academia and Sebastian shows the location is long deserted. Your sensor officer tentatively identifies the archive on the readout. It appears to be in relatively good shape. You send down a salver team, they access the archive and extract the specified data cores without any difficulty. But one of the settlements on the planet attempts to hail our ship. Let's see. You open a comm link, Your comms officer configuring the protocol to interface with whatever jury-rig system the other party is using. Hello, is this thing on? Oh, hello, stranger. It's been a long time since anyone swung by. Is the sector still alive? Where'd you get that ship? Have they finally found where Lud went? Maybe dropping off a data cube for her to read on her own leisure would get her to stop asking questions. I beg for a favor, James Bleak. This place, Grimmenbullen, it's no place to live. Not that the total collapse of society with every meal possibly our last and with packs of raiders and looters seizing everything and everyone they can get their hands on. Please take us away from this world. We'll work on your fleet. All 73 of us. We would be eternally grateful. Sure, why not? Thank you so much. We'll come aboard right away. You cut the comlink and dispatch a shuttle to the surface of Grimmelin to pick up your new crew members. Hopefully they'll fit in well and won't bring aboard some horrible new pox hitherto unknown by the sector. I mean, they weren't getting out of there on their own, that's for sure. Alright, so rundown from Merax. Barren world, couple of volcanic worlds, couple gas giants, cryovolcanic world, irradiated world, and a toxic world. A toxic world with a decivilized population that's still managing to cling to life in the ruins. 73 of them wanted to leave, and frankly, I'm happy to take them away from this awful planet. Alright, next up is Aerin, an orange star. Volcanic world, barren world, and a Terran world. The Terran world has bountiful farmland and plentiful organics, which actually makes it very noteworthy. We're going to have to keep that one in mind. Dropped off a research team at Samaret, and unlike the last several, this actually turned out just fine. The outpost wasn't filled with corpses, it hadn't been destroyed by someone. Decided not to tell the scientist I was dropping off that that's been the case with the last several places Galactia Academy has wanted me to drop people. Your fleet approaches the Galactia Academy probe, finding it roughly where Sebastian's specifications told you it would be. No power source detected, mass lower than expected. No debris, nav ping, no response, your sensor officer reports. Probe hull looks intact, Captain. The salvage team maneuvers toward the probe, and you watch the display flare as a few clean cuts open the casing. Confused chatter fills the comms. Zero that loose talk, barks your ops chief. EVA team lead report. Over comms, the report comes in. It's empty, Chief. Conduit sheared off cleanly. No instrument package. Nothing. Later, after the salvage team returns, you review their findings with your bridge crew. It appears as though a perfect sphere has been scooped from the center of the probe, taking most of Galactia Academy's precious instrument package with it. Theories are proposed. Black hole, aliens. This prompts a round of polite laughter. Your tech officer steps up and explains that it is theoretically possible to bulk phase shift matter at a distance, though the process was never considered economical, even in the later cycles of the domain. Your operations chief looks skeptical of the entire notion. Whatever did this, it means you don't have an instrument package to return to Galactia Academy. You order all telemetry and holo feed from the encounter attached to the encrypted mission file. The Academians love data, the more the better. This should be enough to demonstrate that you did your job to the letter. Maybe the mystery at the heart of it will distract them long enough for you to get paid. Alright, and with that done, we completed almost every mission we had out from Galactia Academy, at least the regular ones. Let's go ahead and drop these off. You open comms to Academian Sebastian. He looks up from his datapad as the comms open. Captain, back so soon? I thought you were... Ah. He trails off at your look. You explain the situation surrounding the probe's missing instrument package to the Academian. Fascinating. Oh, it's even better than I ever expected. He claps his hands once in the excitement. I can't wait to see what the N-Space Resonance Group makes of this. If it's okay, I'll just forward the file to them now. About the payment. Oh, yes, of course. Payment first, then the data transfer. Sebastian taps at a display and you note the ping of incoming funds on your personal tripad. Sebastian points excitedly at a datapad in his hand. Captain, we've just got word from logistics that your crew has delivered the advanced phase conversion prototype intact. They're going to be so excited in gravity dynamics, they never expected to get it back. Academic Sebastian glances between the two datapads he's holding, one in each hand. Captain, you have no idea how worried astrochemistry was about this, He considers for a moment. Unique superconducting structural element. That's what it was. They'll be absolutely delighted when I let them know you found it. First, though, I'll let the finance office know to release your payment. Oh, Captain, the Applied Hollow Arts Department wanted me to give you their thanks for returning Academian... well, you won't remember the name, but they're all very pleased to get back to work on the, well, I shouldn't say really. Sebastian looks around nervous, then clears his throat. Trust me, they're very pleased, and it's all due to you. Good job. Alright, that's quite a few business matters with Galactia Academy sorted all in one go. We got 1.425 million credits, and quite a bit of stuff to sell as well. What was it, an absolute ton of food? Where's the nearest place that needs it? Looks like Baku Nawara in the Gamma Tamale system. Hazard Mining Incorporated. Yeah, we can make that. Nice and easy. We'll head that direction after I pick up some fuel to tide us over. Once I sell off the loot, I'm going to head back for Navarro again. And I think we'll be just about ready to make our next big move. Okay, do we still have a shortage? Hell yeah, we do. 180,000. Navarro. Easily my second favorite place in this entire sector. Beaten out only by Prism. I have a soft spot for Prism. Alright. Now here's the plan. As it stands, we've got a bit over 1.5 million in the bank. We have our ships. We have backups of some of our ships. I think it's time we make a move on the pet project. It's not going to be easy. In fact, it's probably going to be painful as all heck. But we'll take care of it. Now, that being said, that's going to get its own episode because it's going to be a lot of talking.